from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
People's Credit Card உரிமையாளர்களே, இந்த புத்தாண்டு காலத்தில் பிரபல ஆடையகம், ஹோட்டல் மற்றும் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் உட்பட பலவற்றில் 60% வரை விசேட சலுகைகளை பெற்றிடுங்கள். மேலதிக விவரங்களுக்கு விரைந்திடுங்கள் www.peoplesbank.lk.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Max Fun Prima කොත්තුමි තියනකම් මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Max Fun Prima කොත්තුමි තියනකම්
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bus fares of the expressways have been reduced by 100 rupees from midnight tonight. Acting Minister of Transport and Highways Lasantalagiyavanna said that President Ranil Wickremesinghe instructed this ministry to pass the relief of price reduction to the public within 24 hours. Accordingly, the minimum bus fare of 34 rupees was decreased up to 30 rupees. The other fares will be reduced by 12.9%. Three-wheelers, school vans and other taxi services should also reduce their prices. Meanwhile, All Island Three-Wheel Drivers Association says that auto rickshaw charges will also be decreased. 100 rupees charge is charged for the first kilometer and 80 rupees will be charges for the second. Now, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited say that the trade union leaders and employees who exert pressure on the employees' duty and disturb fuel distribution operations have been sent home on compulsory leave.
The management of the two institutes say that these trade union leaders and employees are banned in entering into the premises since yesterday. 20 trade union activists, including Ashoka Ranwala, Bandula Saman Kumara, Jagat Vijay Gurnawardana and J. Paragama, have been sent on compulsory leave. At a press briefing held today, Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that these trade union leaders are workers of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that these trade union leaders and a subversive group had attempted to stop the train that dispatched jet fuel for aircrafts. It seems there are two teams in these subversive activities. Some are exempted from duties and fully engaged in trade union activities. The other group comprises of retired employees of these institutions. The President instructed to identify these individuals, and about 20 employees have been sent on compulsory leave. It is reported that these employees are attempting to gain political mileage through dissident activities. The investigation is being carried out to identify as to how they entered the premises. There are some candidates who represent political parties. We take stern actions against these dissident groups. Some employees may be from Podujana Peramuna supporters. However, actions will be taken against them disregarding their political differences. The trade unions collective started a Satyagraha campaign on the 27th of this month in protest of handing over the monopoly of fuel import, storage and distribution and 3 foreign companies. The trade unions stopped the Satyagraha campaign and started a strike from the same evening.
Now, the Director General of Animal Products and Health Department, KAC at Kotalavala, says that the required recommendations have been given to release the imported stock of eggs. However, the stock has not yet been released by the Customs. The Director General of Customs says that he will release the stock soon after he receives the relevant documents. The relevant test reports issued by the Medical Research Institute in this connection have also been received. Accordingly, the recommendations have been made to release the consignment of imported eggs. The Animal Products and Health Department says that the State Trading General Corporation is capable of taking future steps in this connection. When we inquired the Director General of Customs this evening, he said that he has not yet received the relevant reports. He will receive the eggs consignment soon after he receives the reports. This consignment of eggs is scheduled to be distributed among hotel and bakery owners. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stresses that the students' generation should be equipped with all aspects of modern technology in order to lead the country.
The President expressed these views participating at the annual prize giving of the Colombo Ananda College held today. The President was warmly welcomed by a parade from Cub Scouts and Scouts. The President also made floral tributes at the War Heroes Monument set up in the school premises. Then prizes and certificates were distributed among the students who have shown skills and talents during the years 2020 and 2021. Former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya was honoured with the once-in-a-lifetime Anandabhimani Award this year. The Pritzkuhn Award was given to the most outstanding Anandian W.S. Nidsmith.
ज्येष्ठ आदि आनंदीय श्रीलंका देशाभिमानी गरुडोपीरी साइट 118
The best student base.
The government has taken measures to immediately solve the problems cropped up in the construction sector at present. Solutions will be provided step by step as the financial condition of the country has become conducive at present. A meeting in this connection was held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday under the patronage of President's senior advisor and Chief of President's Staff, Sagala Ratnayaka. A special attention was focused on the prevailing problems and future steps to be taken at this meeting. President's advisor, Dr. R.S.H. Samaratunga, Finance Secretary Mahinda Sirivardhana, Governor of the Central Bank Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe and some top officials were present at this meeting.
Minister Manushananayakara says that issuing permits to import electrical vehicles for migrant workers will be further extended. Participating at a ceremony organized by the Overland Automobile Company, he expressed his views regarding this matter. The permit issued to Sri Lankan migrant workers to import electrical vehicles expired on the 31st of December last year. The validity of the permit has been extended up to August this year. The minister further said that a system to provide electric vehicle importing permits will be prepared for the other categories of people who bring foreign exchange to the country at personal level. Minister Manushananayakara said that the government should provide benefits to migrant workers. They immensely contribute to the economy and send over 7 to 8 billion US dollars to the country annually. It helped the country to increase the dollar reserves. The migrant workers should be discouraged to use undial and other illegal methods of sending money home. The government presented this proposal for the benefit of the migrant workers and also as a measure to increase the use of renewable energy.
Now, Minister Nimalsripala De Silva says complaints have received over the irregularities faced by inbound tourists at the airport. The minister pointed out that they have received reports over irregularities caused by baggage handlers, taxi drivers and brokers. Mr. Nimalsripala De Silva made these remarks during a meeting held today with the airport officials over the received complaints and congestion persists at the Katnak airport. It is noteworthy that the friendliness and politeness which can be experienced in airports across the world are a rare sight at the Katnak airport. The minister requested authorities to take expeditious measures to prevent such situations from taking place at the premises. A decision was reached at the meeting to establish a special counter to receive complaints from tourists and to take prompt action pertaining to complaints.
Pediatrician Dr. Deepal Pereira says influenza and a similar viral flu is persistent among children at present. He emphasized that if children continue to show symptoms along with fever for 3 to 4 days, then they should be directed for medical treatments. A risk prevails over a rapid spread of the disease among small children. Coughs, colds and high body temperatures as well as redness of the eyes and collection of rheum are common symptoms of the diseases. Dr. Deepal Pereira said that those with the symptoms should receive treatments immediately and should be hygienic at all times.
දිගට ඇස් වලට මේම රෝගය හැදෙන්න ගත්තොත් ඇස් වලට හානි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා අපිට දිගට මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තිබුණොත් අක්ෂය වෛද්‍යවරයෙක්ට පෙන්නලා අවවාදයක් ගන්න.
Dr. Pereira also said that special attention should be directed if the cough persists for a longer period. He said that some children have coughed for 2 to 3 months, which shown signs of influenza, and it could be COVID at times. He also said that a persisting cough may appear in the guise of tuberculosis. Therefore, the doctor requested the public to be cautious in this regard.
Now, the regional launch of the annual report of Amnesty International was held in Colombo today. Senior Director of Amnesty International, Deprose Muchena, was present at the regional launch of the annual report of Amnesty International on the state of human rights in the world in 2022. The report had focused on the failure of global and regional institutions to respond adequately to global conflicts, climate change, global energy and food crises. The report has also addressed the economic crises and the series of incidents occurred in Sri Lanka.
We are launching this global annual report against the backdrop of tremendous unipolar, multipolar, polycrisis that we face around the world. A combination of a global calculated vicious attack on civil liberties around the world. The resurgence of what I call a global authoritarian project in which institutions of government are being sustainably, in a very sustained way, attacked day in, day out. So our global annual report tries to present the picture of the world as we see it. So we are calling upon a more consistent approach, robust strengthening of global institutions for defending human rights, and a much more visible presence of global leadership to imagine a world order that is different from the kind we are seeing, where authoritarians are trying to wrestle away human rights values and replace society with autocracy, repression, and war. It is so vital that today international institutions, international system for protection of human rights needs protection itself, needs leadership, and needs remobilization. These are issues that we cover in the report, and we look at region by region how the international human rights system responded.
Sri Lanka held the Global Universal Acceptance Day yesterday at the outdoor bay area of the Colombo Lotus Tower. The main objective of having this celebration as an outdoor public event is to popularize the two country codes' top-level internationalized domain names .lanka in Sinhala and .ilange in Tamil. On the same day, the Universal Acceptance Steering Committee and the LK Domain Registry launched an email platform in Sinhala, English and Tamil. This is the first email platform in Sri Lanka that supports email addresses internationalization for Sinhala with Sinhala email headers.
Now, Route Traveller today focused attention to the discrete waterfall titled Nalangana Alla, located in Bulakkahupitiya Divisional Secretariat area. This is 45 feet in height and falls from the Dolasbage mountain range. The significant feature
Now, the government has allocated a sum of 59 billion rupees for the fertilizer subsidy. At a press briefing held today, Minister Mahindam Ravira says that in addition 115 billion rupees have been set aside for agricultural and animal husbandry sectors. Paddy cultivation in the Yalla season has been started at present. Distribution of TSP fertilizer or mud fertilizer for all farmers free of charge is functioning successfully at present. 36,000 metric tons of TSP fertilizer will be distributed. Minister Mahindam Ravira further says that urea and Bandi fertilizer will also be provided to the farmers at lower prices. The minister also said that the government directly mediated to purchase paddy harvests at proper prices following a discussion with officials of farming organizations.
A special ceremony was held in Colombo to commemorate the 53rd Independence Day of Bangladesh. The event was held with the participation of Minister Susil Premchand. The ceremony was organized under the supervision of High Commissioner of Bangladesh in Colombo, Tariq Islam. Bangladesh gained its independence on March 26 in 1971. This year's Independence Day ceremony was held in Dhaka under the patronage of Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. President Abdul Hamid was also present at the main ceremony. Public representatives and diplomats were present at the ceremony organized in Colombo in line with Independence Day celebrations.
Your Excellency.
Sri Lanka is grateful to Bangladesh for its consistent and unconditional support extended at both at the bilateral and multilateral levels and also during Sri Lanka's current economic challenges. There is scope on both sides to identify new business and investment opportunities in our respective countries. Towards achieving this objective, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh are currently negotiating to finalize a preferential trade agreement and several other trade and investment related legal instruments Sri Lanka is the third highest foreign investor in Bangladesh. Sri Lanka also wishes to invite Bangladeshi investors, including public-private partnerships, in the new investment opportunities that are emerging. Education sector has been identified as a key potential area where the two countries could gain mutual benefits through continued engagement. At present, approximately 160 Sri Lankan students are studying in Bangladesh in various fields, including medicine. I am confident that the renewed dialogue between our two countries will provide a platform for transforming our bilateral ties into an even more meaningful partnership.
Sri Lanka's partnership in our journey. Shortly after our independence on 4th of March 1972, Sri Lanka recognized Bangladesh, and it has been the cornerstone of our diplomatic relations. Bangladesh-Sri Lanka relationship has been all about friendship, goodwill and good neighborliness, and it is growing. And the relationship has been excellent, to say the least. During the difficult time of Sri Lanka, in our humble capacity, we tried to help them out by providing currency swap facilities and essential medicines. And these symbolic gestures were purely out of our sense of obligation to ensuring a shared prosperity. We are hosting a good number of Sri Lankan professionals. They are sending the much needed remittance to Sri Lanka and also contributing to our economy. Many of the Sri Lankan business conglomerates are running successful operations in Bangladesh, and the number is growing. We are one of the top users of the Port of Colombo, and we are trying to further enhance our trade relations and our shipping connectivity. So Sri Lanka can make the best use of our growing market and also benefit from our economic growth. And all these will help Sri Lanka in its economic recovery. The turn of 50 years of our relationship gives us satisfaction for what we have achieved and the path we have traveled together. It provides us with a strong foundation for our partnership in the next century and beyond.
Remains of veteran musician Sangeet Nipun, late Professor Sanath Nandasiri, are now lying at his residence at 10B Old Kottava Road, First Lane, Ambultenia, Nugegoda. The final rites will be held at 5 p.m. on Saturday at the Boralla Cemetery. He was 81 years at the time of his demise. The remains will be brought to the University of Visual and Performing Arts in Colombo and placed there from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for public respect. The remains will be placed at the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. on the same day. Then the remains will be taken to the Boralla Cemetery and the final rites will be conducted at 5 p.m.
Now, the remains of former Speaker and Cabinet Minister, late Joseph Michael Pereira, will be brought to the Parliament complex at 9 a.m. tomorrow. General Secretary of the Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayaka, informs that all parliamentarians and other Parliament staff should be present at the Parliament complex by 8:45 a.m. The remains are now lying at the Boralla Jayaratna funeral parlour and will be placed in the Parliament complex from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow for the last respect. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to pay his last respects to the late Speaker. Joseph Michael Pereira was born on the 15th of September 1941 and he was 81 years at the time of his demise. As the 17th Speaker in Parliament, he had executed the duties of the post from the 19th of December 2001 to the 7th of February 2004.
The UN General Assembly marked today the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, highlighting the importance of education. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the scars of slavery are still visible in persistent disparities in wealth, income, health, education and opportunity. International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and Transatlantic Slave Trade is a United Nations international observance designated in 2007 to be marked on March 25th every year. The day honors and remembers those who suffered and died as a consequence of the transatlantic slave trade which has been called the worst violation of human rights in history, in which over 400 years, more than 15 million men, women and children were victims.
Of enslavement lasted for over 400 years. It was the largest legally sanctioned forced migration in human history. Millions of African children, women and men were kidnapped and trafficked across the Atlantic, ripped from their families and homelands, their communities torn apart, their bodies commodified, their humanity denied. The legacy of the transatlantic slave trade haunts us to this day. We can draw a straight line from the era of colonial exploitation to the social and economic inequalities of today. The scars of slavery are still visible in persistent disparities in wealth, income, health, education and opportunity. And we can recognize the racist tropes popularized to rationalize the inhumanity of the slave trade in the white supremacist hate that is resurgent today.
And that's a wrap of local news. Stay tuned for foreign news coming up after this break.
People's Credit Card உரிமையாளர்களே, இந்த புத்தாண்டு காலத்தில் பிரபல ஆடையகம், ஹோட்டல் மற்றும் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் உட்பட பலவற்றில் 60% வரை விசேட சலுகைகளை பெற்றிடுங்கள். மேலதிக விவரங்களுக்கு விரைந்திடுங்கள் www.peoplesbank.lk.
Welcome back. On foreign news, Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen is set to leave for the United States, a stop on her way to firm ties with Guatemala and Belize.
After first visiting New York, Tsai will continue her 10-day trip by meeting her Guatemalan counterpart Alejandro Giammattei and the Belize Prime Minister John Bracino in their respective countries. She will then stop in Los Angeles on her way back to Taiwan. U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he will meet Tsai in California, a move protested by China's Taiwan Affairs Office, which called the meeting a provocation. Last year, a visit by McCarthy's predecessor to Taiwan sparked an angry response from Beijing, with the Chinese military conducting drills at an unprecedented scale around the island. Taipei said the exercises were preparation for an invasion.
Last August, China carried out
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Max Fun Prima කොත්තුමි තියනකම්
On sports news, Jaffna and Galle teams won the matches of National Super League cricket tournament organised by Sri Lanka Cricket yesterday. Dambula team is on the top of the points table at present.
The match between Jaffna and the Kandy teams was played at the SSC grounds. Batting first, the Kandy team scored 249 all out. Sandun Virakori scored 62 runs. Shiran Fernando claimed 4 wickets. The Jaffna team passed the victory target for the loss of 3 wickets in 39.2 overs. Nabod Paranavitana scored 82 runs. Dushmanta Chamira played for the Kandy team after a long time. The match between Galle and Kandy, Dambulla, was played at the R. Premadasa grounds in Colombo. The Dambulla team batted first and scored 200 runs. Sonal Dinusha scored 62 runs. Milan Ratnayaka claimed 4 wickets. The Galle team passed the victory target in 33.5 overs. Senal de Oliveira scored 76 runs. A media briefing was held in Colombo yesterday to launch the 21st DSI Super Sports School Volleyball Tournament. This tournament was first initiated in 1999 and has provided opportunities for rural and urban players to show their talents at national and international levels.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Max Fun Prima කොත්තුමි තියනකම්
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the very same time for the latest on ChannelEye. I'm Dulanjali, together with Nikit, signing off. Good night.
Good night.